Her claws were at my throat before I ever heard her move. "Human," she whispered, the word curling from her lips like smoke. "You're becoming predictable." I pressed my back against the icy metal wall of the cargo bay, my pulse slamming against the razor-sharp tips of her fingers. Commander Corvin of the Thessary Imperial Fleet stood so close I could count the silver flecks swimming in her violet eyes, so close that her breath warmed my skin. I wasn't running. I lied. "You've been avoiding me for 6 rotations," she said, tilting her head, that predatory angle I'd learned to recognize far too well. Bone-white hair spilled over one shoulder like liquid moonlight. "Every time I enter a room, you find a reason to leave. Every time I request your presence, you send excuses through intermediaries." She wasn't wrong. I had been running. The question was whether she knew why. The Thessary were apex predators from a death world that made Earth look like a vacation resort. 7 feet of lean muscle, retractable claws, teeth built to tear through armored prey. Commander Corvin was considered beautiful by her people and terrifying by everyone else. I was the only human aboard a ship of 3,000 Thessary warriors. A cultural liaison, they called me, a diplomatic experiment, a pet, some whispered when they thought I couldn't hear. And I had made the catastrophic mistake of catching the commander's attention. "Your heart rate is elevated," she observed, pressing closer. Her knees slid between my legs, pinning me in place. "Your pupils are dilated. You're sweating." A pause. "Are you afraid of me, Marcus Chen?" Yes, absolutely. She could kill me 17 different ways before I finished my next sentence. But that wasn't why I was running. "Should I be?" I asked instead. Something flickered in her eyes. Amusement, perhaps. Or hunger. With her species, the two were often indistinguishable. "That depends," she said softly, "on what you think I want from you." Her claws retracted. She stepped back, granting me space to breathe, but her gaze never loosened its hold. It felt like standing beneath the stare of a tiger, deciding whether to pounce. "The captain's reception is in 3 hours," she said, her voice shifting into something almost professional. "You will attend. You will stand beside me, and you will stop running." It wasn't a request. "And if I refuse?" I asked. She smiled, a slow, dangerous curve that revealed just a hint of those killing teeth. "Then I'll have to catch you." She turned and walked away, movements fluid and silent despite her size. I stood there long after she was gone, heart pounding, trying to remember how to breathe. 6 months earlier, Commander Corvin had saved my life during a pirate raid. She'd killed 8 boarders to reach me. When she found me bleeding out in a storage closet, she carried me to the medical bay herself. I still remembered waking to find her sitting beside my bed, watching me with an expression I couldn't read. "Why?" I'd whispered. "Because you're mine," she'd replied simply. "And no one takes what's mine." I hadn't understood then. I was starting to understand now, and that was exactly why I kept running. The captain's reception was everything I feared and worse. The observation deck had been transformed into something between a war council and a ballroom. The sorry officers in formal black moved through the space like living shadows, their conversations blending military strategy with barely concealed dominance displays. Beyond the viewports, a dying star bled red light across the room, painting everything in shades of crimson. I stood at Commander Corvin's side, exactly as ordered. She'd sent formal attire to my quarters, a black suit cut in Thessary military style, tailored perfectly to my smaller human frame. I didn't ask how she'd gotten my measurements. I wasn't sure I wanted the answer. "You look uncomfortable," she said without looking at me.
her attention tracking alliances and threats with practiced precision. "I'm the only human in a room full of apex predators," I replied. "Discomfort feels appropriate. You are under my protection. No one here would dare touch you." "That's not as reassuring as you think." She finally glanced at me, one brow lifting in what might have been amusement. "Explain." "Being protected by the most dangerous person in the room just means I only have to worry about one threat instead of many." "You believe I'm a threat to you?" "I think you haven't told me what you want, and in my experience, powerful people who don't explain their intentions are always dangerous." She was silent for a long moment. Around us, the reception continued. Nods, deference, the subtle choreography of military hierarchy. "Come with me," she said at last. It wasn't a request. She led me through a side corridor into a private observation lounge, empty, quiet. The dying star loomed closer here, its red light washing over her pale features. "I'm not good at this," she said. For the first time I heard vulnerability in her voice. "My people don't do subtlety. When we want something, we take it. When we desire someone, we claim them." "Is that what you're doing, claiming me?" "I'm trying to court you." The words clearly cost her something. By Thessari standards, I've been extraordinarily patient.
I stared at her. "Court me? You survived when you should have died. You speak to your superiors without fear. You meet warriors twice your size and don't look away." She stepped closer, and I retreated until cold glass pressed against my shoulders. Heat radiated from her body. "You fascinate me, Marcus Chen. You have since the moment you boarded this ship." "I'm human. Your crew calls me a pet." "My crew says many foolish things." Her hand rose, claws carefully retracted as her fingers traced my jaw. "You are not a pet. You are not prey. You are—" She paused, searching. "A challenge." "And what happens when you catch me?" I asked quietly. Her eyes met mine. For a moment the mask slipped. Hunger remained, but so did loneliness. "I don't know," she admitted. "I've never caught anyone worth keeping." Then she kissed me. Not gentle, not hesitant. It was heat and possession, and teeth grazing my lower lip, never breaking skin, but reminding me they could. Her body pressed against mine, strength barely restrained, and I felt myself drowning. When she finally pulled back, I was gasping. "Run again," she said roughly. "See what happens." Then she was gone, leaving me alone with the dying star and the taste of her on my lips. I stayed there a long time, trying to remember why this was a terrible idea. I couldn't think of a single reason that mattered.